It's supposed to feel.
All right, what's going on, beautiful people? I'm Tyler. With me is Doug. Doug, the Pirates fall 4-0. They've lost 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know, 40 games in a row, it feels like.
Haven't scored in 40 games, right? Yeah.
The Pirates have not scored a run in 24 innings. This is tough, man.
Yeah, it's brutal. We started out 20-8, and I think we're 14-30 since. None of us thought we would maintain 20-8, but I didn't think we'd play at a 110 loss pace either. So I did. That's it. That's the show. We don't score. It doesn't matter what else happens, right? It doesn't matter how well Oviedo pitches. It doesn't matter that Moretta is struggling a little. Nothing else matters because we can't even put up one run. So, welcome to Pirate Baseball, June. We thought May was bad. We got fooled by sweeping a terrible Cardinals team.
I'll tell you what, I came into this year talking, just hang on until June. Just hang on until June. Reinforcements will be coming. And here we are, June 20th. O'Neal Cruz has been gone for 2 months. We finally got Henry Davis called up, and that's all we got.
Right. And I think we all thought that Endy would be up first. Now, certainly Henry was outperforming him, but Endy's been hitting well lately. To this point, it seems no reason to not bring him up. We're not going anywhere. Let the kids play, sort of thing that we go through every season at this time, and we can't understand why we don't let the kids play because we've passed the service time manipulation. Shoot, we'd be better off bringing up Tamar Johnson right now than, Chang. Some of these guys might be able to get a hit.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm tired. I'm tired of watching them right now.
Yeah, it's boring. I mean, there's nothing. There is nothing. Stroman's a nice pitcher, and he's having a good season. But it doesn't matter who it is. Guys come off the disabled list. Guys with ERAs of 8. Guys with, it doesn't matter who pitches against us. They look like Clemens or Pedro or Maddox, all because, it seems that we have a terrible organizational philosophy to hitting, and then we have guys who cannot execute that terrible, approach. So, working for the walk. It reminds me of my first year of minor league. I was 8 or 9 years old and had a bat that was too big for me, and I just hoped to get walked. But I was 8. Next year I was raking. Right? It's like we should not be trying to just get walked.
It just feels like a team that decided they were going to watch Moneyball for the first time together.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good idea. Well, see, the thing is, in Moneyball, you take pitches to get to the bullpen, and the bullpen's nuts. It doesn't matter if we could get, you know what I'm saying? Stroman could have pulled a hammy on the first pitch, and they could have brought in the bullpen catcher, and we wouldn't have scored any runs. This is not because of the pitching we're facing. It's because we cannot hit. And then you don't have McCutchen. And listen, I'm a believer McCutchen needs days off. Reynolds maybe has something going on. They deserve days off. They need days off. That's fine. But when you see that it's Palacios and Brian Hayes 1-2, Sawinski 3, what did you think was going to be? How did this game was going to turn out? I didn't think we were going to score a lot of runs.
Yeah, I think the writing was on the wall whenever the lineup came out. Jim brings up in the chat here. McCutchen, 4 days off in 9 days. What are we doing here? I know there are people in this organization that understand physiology and exercise science a lot better than I do. For God's sake, can we quit treating these players like they're robots or just a number? Have an actual conversation with Andrew McCutchen, see if he can play.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they're not. I don't have any inside knowledge, but either he's hurt right now or they're just very, very stupid.
This is the kind of stuff that feeds into the analytics thing. And I'm a huge fan of advanced analytics. However, they do get used wrong. Well, that's the problem. It's not the information, it's the usage of the information, right? It's like, okay, blah, blah, blah. He's played this many games at this point, but you're right. Go talk to him. Say, hey, hey, look, it's not that hot tonight. You're just going to DH. How you feel? Say, can we put this day off back 2 days or something? Right. Sometimes you have to. You're managing humans. I mean, you can measure stuff all day long, but a guy's attitude is, just how he feels that day. Maybe he had a good night the night before. Maybe he feels good. Maybe he had a good night's sleep. He feels great. He's ready to go. I understand. You ask most players, yes, I want to play. You have to protect them from themselves at some point. But, like I said, 4 days. Now, I do think that when Cruz comes back, he's going to have to DH some. And so that means Kutch is going to have to play the field. And maybe they're, resting him in advance for that.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense what you're saying.
Right.
It's also just absolutely stupid if that's their
Yeah,
reasoning, because you've lost 1,000 games in a row. August and September are not going to matter if you keep playing like this. Oh, I think I lost Doug there. Doug's frozen. What a state to be in there. All right.
The post-game show is going as well as the game. Right?
There he is.
You were gone too. So.
Well, anyhow, let's just get to the lineup. I think we both saw it and thought the same exact thing. What the hell is this? This is not going to go well. I could look at it and see Palacios hitting leadoff, and I can maybe buy that a little bit just because he has been swinging a bat decently well. If you want to slide him up, if you want to slide Palacios up there for a game just to see what happens, I'm fine with it.
If Brian Reynolds is batting second, right, and Kutch is batting third type thing, right. I mean,
but for the love of God, does everyone need the off day on the same day in the middle of a skid?
Right. Yeah. The only thing I'm taking from this game, and it's really kind of off topic, but I actually believe Ben Cherington now. And I thought he was just lying to us that Henry Davis couldn't catch. I thought he'd be up here on June 20th and he'd be catching, 5 times a week after being, said he needed to work on these things. But they honestly, truly believe he can't catch. So he's going to be playing right field and DH. So, I guess that gives me a little faith that we were certainly manipulating his service time. But their reasonings, I guess they do believe that he is not ready to catch yet. So that's going to be an issue going forward because it's hard to learn to catch when you're not catching. I mean, you can do some side stuff with hedges and delay, what have you, but then what do we do with ND2? So I
mean, at this point, like they can argue that all day, but it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like he can't catch because you guys are saying he can't catch,
right?
Because you haven't caught him.
Yeah.
He's hardly caught in the minors.
You're right. You didn't catch him. Right. Yeah. Very true.
The reason he cannot catch right now, according to you guys, is because you haven't let him catch.
Yeah. It's hard to work on that at, DH. And again,
it's the same thing, Doug, as we didn't expect to be here right now.
Right.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy when you lose like this because you guys set it up so you would lose like this.
Right. No, the worst excuse ever for not trying to improve the team is we didn't think we'd be this good. Well, okay. All right. So you've exceeded expectations. Things have gone better than you planned. So capitalize on that. I talked about it with Donardo last night, the 97 Freak Show team. That team was designed to lose. That was a $10 million payroll. And I think it was Cam Bonifay that was GM at the time. But when they were contending, hanging around, and obviously no one thought they were any good. He's like, I got to give these players a shot. And he went out and got Sean Dunston. I think he made a few other, but he did something, right? And we don't even have to go out and make a trade. We could just bring up some of these, again, bring up Endy. and we say this, and we say this on every show, and I know it's getting redundant. If he struggles, we can send him back down. I don't think the kid has been a stud ball player his whole life. A baseball player, which means he's faced some 0 for 20 stretches. It won't be the first time that he struggled, and then he'll have a sense of what he has to work on. It's not the worst thing. And if he comes up and lights it up, yay for us. But once again, I think we're now positioning ourselves for a draft pick rather than a National League Central crown, which is right there. I mean, right there for the taking if we decided to approach it like that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it every time. I agree with you fully, but we're 10 minutes into the post-game show, and I don't think we've talked about the game yet. So
yeah, I know. Right.
I mean,
you guys need to do this on Thursday night, right?
Yeah, I mean, talk a little bit about Brian Hayes. He has 2 hits tonight.
Right.
He's swinging an okay stick right now, I guess. It's just hard to tell because he's not hitting for any power.
No, I mean, at least he's getting some hits. Again, it's progress, right? He's at least headed toward being the average major league hitter that we would settle for. It's hard to get excited about it because no one gets a hit before him or after him, and it just seems, if Brian Hayes gets a hit in the forest and no one's there to see it, did it really happen? Type, So
I feel like I've looked in the last 2 weeks, and it feels like probably every other game, Brian Hayes has 2 hits. Yeah. And I just don't notice it at this point because the offense is so putrid.
Yeah,
that he gets to first base and it's over.
It's just into the void. It doesn't matter, right? Who cares? He gets to first. He gets to second. I mean, Connor Joe. Yeah, he gets. It doesn't matter. You're not going much further. You might get to third, but that's highly unlikely, and you're certainly not getting home. So.
Yeah. So I guess to compliment someone that we probably just have been overlooking, who seems to be swinging the bat well lately. But he's not driving anybody in because no one's on. He's not getting driven in because no one's hitting. Right. His team scoring 0 runs. So we kind of just overlook Brian Hayes and his little stretch he's had so far. I guess if we want to be positive about something going forward, it's just been Brian Hayes lately.
Right. Yeah. And like I said, if anybody else could hit, what he's doing would be helpful, would contribute. But yeah, I mean, right. There wasn't much to speak of offensively tonight. Nothing. I mean, I said Connor Joe, I think, had 2 hits.
Yep.
Marcano had a double. I don't think we had 2 hits in an inning.
Yeah, I don't think any of those fell in the same inning.
Right.
5 hits today, 2 from Hayes, 1 from Marcano, 2 for Joe.
Yeah.
And like you said, none of them were in the same inning. So, not much excitement to be done on the base pass today.
No. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's it. That's our offense. Single, nobody's.
Jim says Hayes has sucked. So, piss off, Jim.
Yeah. I don't, I mean, he's hitting 250, which seems like a huge deal compared to where he was, in April and May. So if looking, I don't feel like we can call it a silver lining quite yet, but it's at least not a super negative like so many of the other things.
I feel better about him right now than I did in April.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, baseball is a team game, and your teammates need to sort of lift you up and support you in a way. And right, I mean, if he gets one of those singles with guys on second and third, you're like, oh wow, he's raking. That's great. But it's like he gets a single with 1 out. Next guy hits into a double play or whatever. But I mean, you barely remember. It's like, did he have it? Yeah, I think he had a hit.
Right.
Right. But yes, he's been hitting a little better.
I mean, I guess that kind of wraps up the offense. Other than just to touch on, Cal Mitchell gets a pinch hit appearance, which is just stupid as well. Didn't really matter, but how long are we going to have to keep treating these catchers like pitchers? They get pinch hit for every game now.
Right. Well, because they don't hit as good as pitchers. And somehow Jason DeLay is still hitting 290 or something. I don't understand it.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean, is he still living off that 4-for-4 game in Colorado? Is that because he doesn't get that many at bats? I mean,
He might be.
yeah.
On the Johan Oviedo, he got the start today. Goes 6 innings, gives up 2 runs, strikes out 3, didn't walk anybody. That's right off the top of the dome, by the way.
Nicely done.
I thought he looked good.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was fine. He pitched well enough to win. I mean, not for the Pittsburgh Pirates, but if he played for any other team, you would feel. I mean, we were down 2-0, and you didn't think. And when you're down 2-0, you're thinking, "Oh man, we just need one good inning. We're right back in this." And we're down 2-0, and like we don't stand a chance, right? I mean, that's insurmountable lead.
It felt like he did a good job of keeping the ball on the ground today. We didn't see all the swing and miss stuff, but
he didn't have his bad early innings. I mean, his first, I was 20. I think he came right back in the second inning with eight pitches. Yeah, I mean, right now to me, he is the pitcher, the starting pitcher I believe the most in as each start. Like right now, I have no faith in what Keller might throw a gem. He might give up.
Yeah, I'm taking Mitch Keller over Johan Oviedo every day.
Oh no! If I'm having to take a player draft, but right now my expectations is I have no idea what Mitch Keller is going to do in his next start, and I feel like Oviedo will give us 6 decent innings. I don't know that Mitch Keller will do that right now.
I have more faith in Mitch Keller doing that right now. But Bucko Mike keeps bringing up in the chat the strikes. It did seem like Oviedo was efficient, definitely early. Got a little erratic at some points, but that's just Oviedo for you.
Yeah, I mean, again, he changed it.
He did what he's done all year. He pitched well enough to win, and the offense hasn't backed him up. I think he's 3-7 now on the year.
Yeah,
that's tough for a guy with a 4.30 ERA. 4.30 ERA still plays in 2023, so
yeah,
he's pitched well enough.
He had I think he blew up one game. Just had a that sort of hurt the ERA. Even that first start, he gave up 5 runs real early. Against Boston. So you can't take those 2 out. But his ERA, I think, is a little better. Right? He's pitched a little better than his ERA. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So. Yeah,
I think that's fair. I don't want to get into a long-term Oviedo argument because I still don't really see him as a starting pitcher. But
on this team, I do.
Right now, he has to be, and I mean, he is performing. No complaints about him this year. They've needed him, or else this team would be in a lot more trouble than they are. They're in a lot of trouble.
Wait a minute. What's this? I can't be. I'm not that negative. Yes, I'm a little down. I'm a little depressed, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've watched all of these games. It's there's no joy here. No joy in Mudville. So
yeah. So I guess Oviedo, as people call me positive today.
Yeah, Mr. Sunshine.
Yeah. Okay, I'm always sunshine and rainbows, baby. And I'm sure he was talking about Jim in the comments.
Yeah, I'm sure too. Rosati, yeah.
Yep,
yeah,
there it is.
Another ray of sunshine. But I mean, my goodness, you watch this team. There's just so many layers of why you're frustrated with it, right? They can't hit. They refuse to do anything about it. We didn't like the hire of Andy Haynes when it happened. We've been proven out. Back to the post game. I'm sorry. I keep hitting these bigger, grander subjects, but yeah. Dari Moreta.
Yeah, he came in after Majinski, right?
Yes, right. It was Majinski.
Just touch on Majinski. I think the stuff's going to play.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he could be a very competent, reliable major league reliever. Like it's early. Obviously small sample size, but the stuff looks good.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of these guys coming out of the pen, you think, yeah, he could probably be an option out of the pen. You look at Majinski, I think you can see the potential of a high leverage guy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he looks good on the mound. He looks confident. He attacks, and yeah, his stuff is nasty.
The stuff's really good, and I don't know what. There's something about you can just tell that command can be really honed in on. Everything he does just looks clean on the mound. So
Yeah,
I don't
smooth.
think
Right.
he doesn't look like he misses spots that often, and when he does, it's not that bad. Just work on the location a little more, and I think there's something really good there.
Yeah, I hope so.
And then let's get into money. Beretta.
Big bank, big
Oh,
bank.
big bank. I said it's fun now. When he starts giving up runs, I'm gonna get really annoyed of him dancing on the mound.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm starting to get a little peeved of it.
Right. You compose after striking out Paul Goldschmidt in a win. That's fine. But right now your slider's no longer invisible. So maybe contain the celebrations and the posing and the until you've
Yeah,
actually had a clean inning again.
it's all fun whenever you're getting outs. When you're not getting outs, I'm
Right.
gonna get really annoyed of you.
Yeah. I don't mind. I'm not one of those. Flip your bat. Do your little punch out motions, whatever. Get the results, right?
And don't flip your bat when you're down 8-0.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's one of my pet peeves. The Cam Newton Superman celebration down 28-0 in the fourth quarter. He scored. So no.
So that's where I'm at with Moretta right now. He's got to turn it around. He's had a couple rough outings lately.
Yeah,
after
I
just
mean,
a spotless May.
Right, there was going to be some regression there. It's fine. It's certainly not happening in any time. It's not like he came in and we were leading 3-2.
Right.
So, it now feels like, when we're down 2-0, it seems like you're coming in what used to be like mop up duty. Yeah. We're actually down 10-0 is what it feels like. So yeah, you can bring in anybody.
Yeah. So not a good outing from him. And then Perdomo wraps it up today. I'm intrigued by him a little bit. I don't think he looked good today. I think he's the type of guy that's going to look absolutely unhittable, or it's going to be one of the worst innings you've ever seen.
He does. Right. He is intriguing, right? 6'8", got some nasty stuff. It's either a strikeout or a walk. He doesn't give up hits. So that, when that happens though, you're right. It could get ugly real quick because he does put people on base.
It's kind of like reminiscent to Amir Garrett. He's either just nasty as can be, or he just gets hit all over the ballpark.
Gets crushed. Right.
Now, for the most part, Garrett's been hit all over the ballpark his entire career. To this point, Perdomo's pretty much been dominant.
Right.
But when you're just waiting on it for when it goes bad, it's going to look really bad.
Yeah, we could really use an effective left-handed reliever like that too. I mean, it would be great if he could harness that stuff and get that control. But you're right. He looks like a guy that's just always going to be erratic, and that will work to his advantage sometimes because nobody knows what's coming with each pitch. But yeah, well, 8th and 9th inning. I'm not sure if that's where I want to see him.
Yeah. I'm okay with him coming in like a 6th inning when you had to pull your start early. It's a tight game. I feel comfortable enough with him.
Right.
8th inning, maybe not.
Yeah. I mean, if we ever have a lead again, I'm not ready for him in the 8th inning with a 1-run lead. Not yet. I don't.
Yeah, not quite there. But I think that about wraps it up for today. We hammered out a bunch of stuff in 13 minutes, and that's what happens when the offense doesn't perform.
Right. I mean, there's, Josh Pelosi's made a nice throw home. I mean, there's not much. Yeah. There's not much to talk about. There's nothing eventful. We're not even getting the, Will Craig chasing the guy back to home. There's just.
Kind of glad we're not.
Right. It's true, but man, I mean,
it gave us a lot of fodder for about 2 weeks though.
For a long time. Yeah. This is a boring, lifeless team that for some reason, how is this team phoning it in? Right. Isn't the bulk of this roster kind of still fighting for their spot in the majors? Right. I mean, this looks like one of those, those NBA teams that kind of just cruise during the regular season and then turn it up. It's like, how does this team have that mentality? Like, I mean, everyone that we should be fighting, clawing, and there doesn't look to be an ounce of energy out there right now.
Nope.
So
Veteran presence is not as veteran whenever you're in the
yeah,
midst of this
suddenly
losing
it's like,
streak.
yeah, it's like, wait a minute, Carlos Santana, where's where's that energy? Where's that leadership? Him, Kutch. And I mean, we're getting to the point now too where Hayes and Reynolds. I mean, I know they're not vocal, outgo, but they've been here long enough to exhibit some leadership qualities, right? To I don't know, at least go over to Santana's locker and say, "Hey, can you say something?" So,
Or at the very least, can you quit being terrible?
yeah, well, yeah. I don't. We've talked about this. I don't
Yeah.
blame him for being terrible yet. He's 107 years old, and we're playing him every single inning at first base, and he's playing a great first base. So I like defense. Nobody else does these days, but I still like it.
I do too. Doug, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
All right, we're out of here. Pirates lose 4-0. Well, Cody will be at you solo tomorrow. Hopefully, he has a better time than we did.
Rich Hill versus your boy, Kyle Hendricks.
They should probably call me up.
I mean,
Put
you
me out
couldn't.
there.
You couldn't do any worse.
I mean, I could sit there and wait for a walk.
You can contribute to the 24 scoreless innings, right?
Oh,
Just
easily.
effectively as
Easily.
any of the others, right?
For a lot cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, bargain. Right. And you'll probably carry equipment or something. So
All right, we're out of here. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
see you guys later.
Hey, you all, thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.